Running should be something that feels good, not bad, but it does damage your body every single time that you do run. And whether that damage hurts you or you can handle it depends on your level of strength and mobility. For example, running does damage your knees, but that damage only becomes a problem when they're too weak to repeatedly absorb that impact. So start building your hack squats to 8 reps with 33% of your body weight loaded like we do in targets. Lift the heel, go through a full range of motion, sit at the bottom, then extend back up using your foot and knee. And even if you can't do hack squats right now because there's too much pain, you can still start in unlock with our VMO squats instead, using assistance to take load off of the knees to make it easier. And your goal here is to start to be able to do reps with just your body weight using no assistance at all. Being a consistent runner can also slowly tighten up your hips and reduce your range of motion, but that only happens if you never reverse all of that tightness. So put your foot against the wall, cross your other leg over your knee, and let your hips sink into that stretch. We use this in Friday's workout in Unlock to start undoing the tightness that's built up in your hip. In that same workout, we're also doing 60 seconds in the couch stretch, undoing tightness in one of the most tight areas for runners, which is the hip flexor muscle group. The goal is to build up to being knee against the wall, being comfortable in this position, but you can always move your knee a lot further out from the wall to make it easier. And since your hips need equal amounts of strength for the mobility that we're building, we also build up exercises like the hip flexor raise, like we've seen elite level runners like Usain Bolt use to make those muscle groups stronger. Running does also damage your ankles over time, but only if you can't control them when you land and push off in your running stride. So get stronger at extending your ankle with a bent knee position, because this is the exact position we push out of when running. Our target for long-term protection is 15 reps with 20% of your body weight loaded on one leg. But when building healthy ankles, you can't just focus on one side, because that creates imbalances between front and back, which also leads to injury. So we spend time strengthening those muscles at the front of our ankle in Unlock with tibialis raises. Flex the ankle up, control back down, then do that for all of your reps. Once your ankles are strong enough to move into rebuild and targets, we can have the option of adding in a tibialis bar and weights so you know exactly how strong your ankles are getting. Another benefit here is that you can get a full stretch at the bottom. You're not cut off in range of motion, so you can get your shins as strong as possible. Now we move on to one of the most ignored areas for runners, which is the foot, especially with so many people relying on trying new shoes to get that foot pain fixed. Sure, optimizing your shoe is helpful, but it's not the source of what the actual problem comes from, which is a weakness and an imbalance in strength and mobility, which can be fixed when you start to build those up. We start that process in Unlock, where we're using our Peterson steps to get blood flow and movement into the foot. You can hold on to something for balance, so the focus really is on contraction in the foot. Push up through the toes by pushing into the floor. Tap down with your heel to get into the same position as running, then extend back up with the foot. The most important part here is that you're using shoes or not using shoes at all, so that you can actually use your foot muscles. If you use a lot of cushioning, it'll limit how much your foot muscles are getting worked. Then, just like the rest of the system, we have natural progression. As you get through rebuilded targets, you start to add load and elevation to make this movement even better for your feet. Lift the heel, tap down, then push back up with the foot. I learned this from Carl Peterson, who used it on a Canadian downhill ski team that was riddled with knee pain to actually fix it overall and then get back to winning gold in the Olympics after. If there's one thing to take away from this video, it's to get better in this exact position, because when you're running, you take that position and do it thousands of times in your running stride. But once again, we're not just focused on getting stronger, we're also trying to build up our mobility to match that strength. So we use exercises like the big toe stretch throughout that process to lengthen out those muscles as we strengthen them. So your knees need to be strong enough to absorb impact when you run. Your hips need to be strong and flexible enough to move without limitations. Your calves need the ability to extend from pushing off and landing when you run. And your feet need to be unlocked and rebuilt so that everything above them stays healthy. Running does not have to be something that hurts you, and it can be something that feels good, not bad. But if you stay tight, weak, and imbalanced, that's impossible to happen, because you're constantly going to be riddled with injuries. That's why we follow the program route from Unlock to Rebuild to Targets. We now have 1,833 success stories as I'm filming this video. You can start anytime for just $37 a month. And using code FRESHSTART2026 gets you 20% off your first month. So if you want to fix your body and run pain-free, I'd be happy to help you there.